What's going on, everybody? Doc from Average Gamer Guys back yet again, and PUBG. PUBG is where it's at right now. So we're going to jump in. We've got a little bit of gameplay in the background, and if you guys haven't been following along, or maybe you put down PUBG for a little bit on Xbox, now's a good time to pick it back up. We just got a fresh update. As most of you know, if you're sticking around from the channel, Miramar is now live. We've got actually really solid gameplay of mine and Sloth's first game on the live server on Miramar, and let's just say it ends very, very well for us. So we've got some cool gameplay in the background. I do want to talk through what the actual update looks like. Again, it is out right now. Miramar is live, so get out there, play some of the sand map. I know there's been kind of like back and forth ever since this map came out on PC. There's a lot of back and forth on whether people liked it or not. It is generally a completely and intentionally a completely different gameplay experience with a little bit with the lack of cover, the more open long range engagements, and honestly, I've really enjoyed it. If you kind of learn the map and understand the mechanics of playing it, and you've got some decent mid to long range consistency with your shots, you're going to find out that you really like it. If you're more of like sit in a house and shoot a shotgun at somebody's face kind of player, you're probably not going to like it as much. But there is obviously still plenty of cities, plenty of buildings, plenty of opportunity for you to get in and get some kills in close quarters combat. So hang out with me for a few minutes. We're going to run through the entire May update and talking through all the different stuff that was addressed in this. And then I'm going to give some general opinions on, honestly, what I think about this so far. What do I think about the port over from the public test server, and just some general opinions again about the map, although you've probably heard a lot of those already before if you've been a fan of the channel. If you are new, do check down below. We're going to have the official Xbox forum post that you can check out and read along for yourself or just take a look at, and then also down there is that like subscribe button type thing. Helps us out if you enjoy the content. If not, no big deal. No pressure here from us at all. We just appreciate you hanging out with us for a few minutes, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for just a few minutes. So let's jump right into this. May update, major update focused on improvements to stability and optimization. So, and in addition, obviously the addition of Miramar map. The Xbox team has been constantly monitoring and reviewing feedback, both from live servers and the public test server. They're constantly focusing on improving service stability and game optimization. This is something, again, I can't fault PUBG for this. They're very consistent with this. They know the issues that are out there. They really do listen to the feedback, and they're constantly working towards making this game fully optimized for the Xbox, running well. It still has its issues. It really sincerely does. However, trying to remember back from when we first started playing this game to now, it is huge improvements. I had some of my concerns with some of the stuff that was on the public test server and some of the things they added in, because even on the public test server, it didn't always click or seem to work super well. I don't think that's the case with this one. But we'll get to that in a minute. Just talking through some additional things here on the forum post. Some examples of problems which we are improving with this patch are situations where characters get stuck and yet to be loaded interior pop-ins. Very important. Definitely has happened before. Situation where objects, especially buildings, were running too slow for users to enter. Also something that was somewhat consistent. The May update adds a highly predictive based loading system, which improves the system's overall performance in order to facilitate more advanced and optimized map loading. It will change the priority of the loading process, which will improve loading of the area where the player decides to land. Now, this is really important because I know, especially if you're running on like one of the original Xbox or maybe an Xbox One S, you've probably heard me talk before. I played on an Xbox One X, and I've always comparatively had kind of a slight advantage, at least on the load-in, because it seems like prior to this patch, my stuff was loading in much faster. I don't think that's the case anymore, to be really honest. Me and Sloth were playing some games, and it seems like the load-in, because it's optimized for wherever the player is going to land, those objects coming in first, it seems like everybody's pretty much on an even playing field with that. minus maybe a few seconds of time compared to what was previously like 10 or 15 seconds, which is pretty significant. So it's nice to see that. They also say this, as well as other improvements, have been made to make loading of the map, objects, and players a smoother experience. Overall, they said the system is going to become more effective as data is accumulated and as time goes on, and you will experience more optimized and stabilized gameplay, which is pretty cool. In addition, they've collected over 1,500 bug reports, including some redundancies from the past 4 public test server tests. Also, issues that may cause problems in the live server have been fixed in the May update build. Community feedback on the May update will also be monitored and reviewed to help improve future patches. Again, staying close to the community, staying close to the people playing the game, and pulling data and actually using the data to fix the game. Couldn't ask for much more. Awesome. They said they thank the testers, anybody that actively participated in the public test server. I know I did quite a bit. Hopefully you guys got the chance to as well. And again, we're seeing honestly the fruition of those hours and that time spent, even though sometimes it might have been frustrating. We're seeing that, which is really neat. So they talked through optimization and stabilization. They said both Miramar and Erangel have significantly improved overall game performance on the Xbox One, S, and X, and stability has also been improved. Optimization and stability is still the dev team's top priority, which is really cool. Our goal is to deliver constant improvements, and I think, again, they've been doing that. They went to a little bit of a different structure, looking at instead of like weekly or bi-weekly, they've gone to more of like a 3-week to 1-month major updates, which I think is good, and it seems like it's kind of working. At least for now, it seems like all these things they're doing, they're bringing these big patches up, and then the game gets significantly better instead of marginally better, a little bit more consistently. They did talk through the freefall and perishing process has been optimized, leading to performance improvements during the initial stages of the game. Again, like we talked about, very important. World loading has been optimized, allowing buildings and their interiors to load simultaneously and reduce overall rendering time. Also very important. The handling of resources for unseen nearby characters' movements have been optimized to improve performance of the game. All these things, again, going towards optimization and stabilization. Handling resources like equipping and unequipping items of unseen nearby characters has been optimized to improve performance during the early game and to reduce the likelihood of crashes. Obviously very important. Character inventory loading has been optimized, improving response time when opening inventory and reducing crashing. And then unoccupied vehicles and boats have been optimized to increase the overall performance of the game. Again, tons of things. 6 items there that I just read through. Again, all focusing on that. They have a content update. Obviously, Miramar has been added, and it's live right now. It was intentionally designed to provide a vastly different battle royale experience. Kind of like I said at the beginning of the video, just give it a chance. Even if you didn't really enjoy it, definitely give it a chance. It says it features extreme elevated terrain and tall buildings with less trees, which give players new options for playing around cover. And then the characteristics of on-road and off-road have been further differentiated, and it makes the selection of vehicle type and decision to drive more critical and important, which is really cool. And then, if you're not familiar, the map brings with it a couple additional things. The R45, which is a revolver-style handgun, and uses 45 ACP ammo. The Win94 lever-action rifle also uses 45 ACP. You got the sawed-off small shotgun, which is 12-gauge ammo, 2 bullets, and then it actually equips into your handgun slot, which is pretty cool. And then they've also added a recolored version of the ghillie suit, seeing as the green ghillie suit probably wouldn't really do too well in a desert map. They have new vehicles that have also been added with the addition of Miramar, which is the minibus, a 6-seater, the pickup truck, which is a 4-seater, and the motorbike and buggy have new skins, which is pretty cool. Additionally, we've got some gameplay features. Emotes have been added, so we've gone, I hate to say this, but we've gone like full Fortnite here. Emote UI will show up. You can press both the left bumper and right bumper buttons at the same time. You can highlight it with the right analog stick, and you press down with the right stick. You'll use the selected emote, whatever. Scopes have been changed to be more realistic. You get expanded all scopes field of view, which is really nice. They've added a parallax effect as well as some other just kind of like distortion effects around the edges of scopes, which is kind of neat. Aim acceleration can now be turned off in settings, interestingly enough. Setting menu has been especially improved for Xbox platform, which really significantly needed it. Colorblind mode and other modes that could help the gameplay have been added. We've removed the grenade's knockback effect for player characters when dealing non-lethal damage. So this is really interesting. You used to get a decent little knockback if you were to take a grenade, but not quite like take lethal damage from it. That does not happen anymore if it's non-lethal damage. However, if it is lethal damage, you will be knocked back, which is pretty neat, or pretty interesting rather. They've added a new grenade hit effects and animations, and then key legends function has been added for gameplay controls, and you can turn this off in the settings. This is one thing I was really hoping they were going to add in after the PTS, because sometimes you just want that stuff out of your way. The outgame, the lobby loading screen is now a lot more clean. I definitely would agree to that. The matchmaking can be started in the play menu after selecting the game mode. Map selection will be added soon, which is actually really cool because right now you're just cycling between the two. Matchmaking UI has been improved, allowing more pleasant entrance into the game. Rewards menu has changed in the store. You now get a store and then my items. Game option settings can now be popped up, and then the leaderboard display method has been modified, allowing users below certain ranks to see their ranks in percentage. Lobby UI overall has been improved. And then we talked through quite a bit of bug fixes here. So they fixed an issue causing punching to slow down movement while sprinting. In spectator mode, water sounds sometimes inappropriately continued after changing perspective. That's now been fixed. When preparing to throw grenades, the projection visualization no longer inappropriately penetrates through objects, which is really important. It was kind of frustrating. I did see that a few times. You can now free look while automatically swimming, which is really good. Sights no longer become blocked while in ADS position after attaching high magnification scopes. Obviously an issue there. Fixed an issue preventing some teammates' map markers from showing up. Fixed some problems preventing interactive pop-ups from functioning properly. Fixed the problem preventing players from changing seats in vehicles, and then fixed the problem wherein turning off BGM in the lobby setting didn't actually work. There was also a bug causing players to sometimes get stuck in a leaning position, and this has now been fixed. So with that almost 12 minutes of talking there, minus my couple minute intro, we've got a pretty substantial update here. Obviously, again, the new map and bringing all that kind of stuff in is really big, but a laundry list of just optimization, stabilization pieces, laundry list of bug fixes, gameplay features, things they've added, and again, the right direction for this game. So let me talk through just a little bit about what my experience, again, in literally the first game that we played. I had my concerns coming from the public test server just because in the public test server, and I think you guys heard me talk about this just a little bit, there were definitely some issues. The game didn't feel synchronized, felt like hit detection was kind of off. It honestly felt a little sluggish. And again, I can contribute that, I think, maybe just a little bit to the fact that we were all playing on one server essentially, instead of being separated out by our region, which obviously plays into the factor of how well your connection is, how well everybody's synchronized together. With that being said, this patch and this whole update, now on the live servers, now on your regionally located setup, runs awesome. I have no concerns about hit detection. The game actually feels really smooth. I think the only complaint I would have is that sometimes as the game is loading in, especially it seems like if you drop in a very populated place, you can get some pretty significant frame rate drops for the first maybe half a minute to 45 seconds. Me and Sloth have seen that in the games we've been playing over the last couple days. I've seen that in some of the solo games I play. It's not every game, but it definitely seems to happen as you get more populated. Now, the nice thing about that is it very quickly goes away. So your frames come back. You guys can see me playing now. Everything looks great. I'm sincerely honest about this. It feels good. It feels really good. The game, everything seems like it's running the way it needs to be running. And like I said, I've had success. And I think that's in large part to the fact that it's optimized, it's set up, things are going the right way. We're back on our normal servers, and all of these improvements and bug fixes that they've put in seems to have helped, in addition to all the stuff that they're talking about as far as just optimizing the game to play. load-ins. Like I said, I cannot stress enough how hugely important that is on the load-in side. Just the fact that there's no discrepancy now. Sloth, I think, is running on a normal Xbox One, and he was surprised the other day to say, hey, wow, these buildings are already loaded in. Like, I'm going to be able to drop. I don't have to worry about going through the roof of something, getting stuck halfway in between, or my parachute having to cut it off, and the next thing I know, I'm falling 15 feet and taking damage. There's no more of that. You get in there, there still does take a time where it seems like the building definitely loads first. But then you might wait just a few seconds for all of the stuff on the ground to load up. The one nice thing that they've kept out, and I hope they keep out forever, the fact that they don't any longer spawn in any kind of clothes. I think that's huge, and they just need to keep working towards the optimization for that, and I think they are. And it seems like, again, this is a really good step forward in the right direction. We still have had some other glitches. So again, this game is by no means perfect at this point. But we have had some other glitches, small ones though for the most part. Just talking about some of the inventory management just a little bit, and some of the other items there. I think Sloth ran into a situation in a game we played just the other day where he actually tried to I think it was he was reloading and then tried to fire too quickly before the reload animation was done, and ended up getting himself jammed up where he had to swap weapons before he could fire that weapon again. Again, it's going to be those specific situations that we probably don't see until we get some more significant hours in. But again, I like the idea of the test server. I've said that before. I think they continue to do that. I think the future for me, beyond the optimization piece and some of the gameplay features, is I want to get closer caught up to kind of where the PC is. Now, obviously, I know they just got a new map. They had a whole bunch of stuff that was changed as far as weapon balancing and things like that. I don't know that we need to go that far, but honestly, we've got to the fact and the point where we now have a new map. I'm really excited to play it, but you're still playing Erangel about 50% of the time. I would like to see something that kind of entices and switches things up on that map maybe a little bit. I know PC just got a bunch of new weapons. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff that goes into that, and changing up how the attachments work with the SLRs versus the assault rifles and the sniper rifles. Honestly though, if they could even bring just a few of those things, maybe one or two new weapons, and kind of fold them into the mix, or bring some of the stuff honestly from Erangel or from Miramar into Erangel, would be pretty cool, even if it's some of the vehicles. I don't know. I think you got to try to keep making those maps fresh. I know Fortnite, again, not to compare it, but it is a comparable game, has done some things where they change up the map a little bit. I don't necessarily think they need to do that with this, just for the sole fact of, that's kind of what PUBG is. The maps are set, but just, again, something to kind of keep enticing people back into the game, continue to play. But again, the huge part, it all really boils down to, is the gameplay experience fun? I sincerely think it is, and it's much more playable at this point. And again, it just feels good. It feels like we're getting close to the point where it's a fully optimized game. Things are running the way they're supposed to be running, and that's pretty exciting. So that's my initial impressions. I personally really do like Miramar. I think the change of pace is really cool. I think just the way the map plays, I really like it. It makes you pay a lot more attention to your surroundings, and definitely use a different form of cover in the form of height and things like that. And I just get out there and play it. Give it a chance. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I definitely am. And yeah, just appreciate it. So that's what we got for this episode. As always, we really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me for just a few minutes of your day. Hopefully this was beneficial to you, and we're going to try to get some more gameplay up, maybe talk through a little bit of tactics on the new map, at least one of where some of our favorite drop spots are, and just kind of some of the different strategies that we use that we found to be successful in these first couple of days. So as always, really do appreciate the support. If you are new and you did subscribe, thank you very much. If you've been around for a while, thank you for continuing to hang out with us. We really do appreciate it. We're slowly creeping towards that 1,000 subscriber mark, and that's really exciting for us. So again, just thanks everybody. I've been Doc from Average Gamer Guys. As always, really do appreciate you, and we'll catch you in the next one.